Hello, my name is Abe and welcome back to Darkest Dungeon 2, Begin New Journey. Click on the screen to make it the main window. I love the little clink, clink, clink of a glass of cold coffee. We're gonna embark. We unlocked the secondary infernal flame, the corpse light.
Find any advantage.
I'm willing to give it a shot. I love the vanilla Darkest Dungeon 2 style though, having basic normal light without the radiant light, without the infernal flame. But we've got to do it at some point, right? Get through some of these infernal flames, unlock the super hard mode infernal flame. You gotta, Abe, you gotta play with the infernal flames, maybe. We're gonna do resentment, chapter 2, aka lungs.
Let us drag your agglutinated indignities out into the light.
Agglutinated.
Agglutinate.
Firmly stick or stuck together to form a mass. Clumped together, combined.
We had managed to grasp a thread of connective worship that stretched across vast gulfs of time and time, but we did not understand it.
Well, I don't even understand it, and I'm the one playing the damn game. I don't know the lore. Lore. Now, any good, interesting quirks? Oh my god, Breacher on a flagellant. That is sick. That's incredible. Shadowborn. Combat start 50% chance of being in stealth. Hemophiliac. Deadly 15% crit on the occultist. That is really nice. Rummager gives you more loot over time. Iron Stance, movement resist. Evasive, combat start 2 dodge tokens. That's a really nice one to have. The relationships are not a huge problem, and especially with the second Infernal Flame, the relationships aren't particularly negative. You know, they're only slightly negative. They're not minus 20% or whatever it was. The Jinx, always nice to have, especially on a tank. The Hellion does fit. Shroud Tactician, Braggart. Braggart's actually good for a tank. On hit, chance of taunting. Generous, Curmudgeon, oh, good. Pathfinder and Yips. We don't want a grave robber that's blind. Bloodthirsty, not amazing. Toonhummer. I mean, if I had to pick, and I guess I could pick, I really like the idea of the Flagellant. The Breacher is amazing, and I really like the idea of the Plague Doctor because Bloodthirsty is not incredible, but not a huge problem on her. But we also, if we're gonna be doing the Infernal Flame, we're gonna be weakened on turn 1 of combat, so we want things like DOT. We could also roll, of course, Bonk Vestal. If we were to random, what would we get?
Is this fearlessness?
2 tanks,
Decision.
a Highwayman, and a Jester, huh? Well, I mean, surely we would be able to order it up, the Q. But, gotta admit,
Zealotry.
Breacher
An
is
undying
pretty cool.
light upon the
I think we can
soul.
roll Flagellant. I want to roll a Plague Doctor too. We need to unlock her remaining skills. Actually, his too, Undying and Necrosis. I have no idea what those are. If we wanted to have middle path units, who would we take? If we're fighting the lungs, we need someone who can hit the back lung for lots of damage. I have to imagine the Occultist could do that with the Burning Stars. It is a lot of damage, especially when upgraded. 12 to 18 is fantastic. The Highwayman can do it with the crits into a pistol shot. That's enough damage on its own. Connie says, apparently more Darkest Dungeon, can't miss it. Yeah, we're going straight into the second chapter here. We're not gonna be Iron Swanning if we have a Flagellant in the front, so we probably don't want the Hellion, although we could still take her and use her as like a third position hitter if it bleeds. It's actually not a bad idea. Apparently, I read that breakthrough, people consider this to be one of the worst abilities, but maybe that was like pre 1.0 release or something like that. Admittedly, I haven't really looked into it too much, but moving forward, giving yourself a winded token and then removing guard from an enemy and then not gaining block for a couple of turns, that's not too bad. If there's a blocky enemy, you can purge that with breakthrough. Who else would we like to have? Gotta admit, full blight party could be the way of going about it. I do love the high damage of the Grave Robber, but we just took her out. Let's roll Hellion.
Bloodlust and fury.
I think this could be very interesting. It's also a stress relieving unit.
And shame.
Breakthrough is good for the drummers. It can't hit the drummer. that's the problem, though. And then maybe Flagellant, the Plague Doctor. We have 2 healers. Hellion can do some stress healing. We could roll a Vestal. Could we roll a Bonk Vestal? I think second position Hellion is what I'm looking for here. Bonk. Oh god, I punched my bottles on my desk, or my thermoses. Boing! Roll Occultist. Could roll damage Occultist, actually. He is deadly with the high crits. It would be Warlock, right? Oh, but like, okay, and here's another problem with the Infernal Flame. If this Infernal Flame is low HP, our units are going to have very, very low HP. Maniac, Examinate, Scourge. Scourge is very good for a tank. I do like this. Sepsis is, well, no, I want you to be able to heal, but Sepsis is pretty good for doing blight damage as damage. Roll this with a Grave Robber with the darts. That's very high damage. I mean, we could use this to like bum rush the boss. We could still use this to kind of bum rush that boss damage. Inflict a lot of DOT, and then when the boss is ready to be killed, Sepsis! It's actually not a bad idea. Who can apply combo? Occultist. You know, I think I like the idea of the Occultist being here. Near death.
One must embrace it.
Yeah. Low health grants great potency to blight and buff alike. Sacrifices blight potency in favor of flexible positioning, debuffs, and disruption. He's going to be in the front constantly. It doesn't need this, I believe. We can give her Howling End so that she can actually get back to the second position in theory. Sepsis is a heal. Heal to 45%. And it also purges all of the blight, doing that damage immediately. Very interesting. Deathless is still self-damage. Flagellant is one of the hardest ones to understand because the path is a little bit it's a little bit difficult to parse. Sacrifices blight potency in favor of positioning and debuffs. Like, punishes a knockback. Deathless is the same. Acid Rain is weakness and combo, which is a little weird. More is the same. Sepsis is requires self have negative tokens or low health, or combo transfers negative tokens and combo onto an enemy. Very interesting. But I really like that Scourge path. And Deathless is a self-heal now, which is pretty decent. We'll roll this. I think this is one of my favorites. The Hellion, We'll run Berserker with her having a little bit lower HP. Occultist. Ugh. This is a problem. Are we gonna give him lower HP as well? For even more range damage? I mean, we could. And then here we definitely just want Alchemist for even lower max HP. Okay, this is terrible, but you know, I guess. I still don't have Disorienting Blast, so do I have it yet? No, I do not. Okay, Alchemist it is. So the only unit that has normal amounts of health is the Flagellant, except they're still gonna get hit by the minus 20% health debuff. Deathless can be used to heal other people on occasion. More is still a good taunt ability that can be used very frequently, and he opens with taunts himself. So, sure, I think we'll give this a shot. Unless we want... You're not gonna be a Ravager. I do like Ritualist, but we have a healer. Aspirant is more HP. Low HP run, still going for that Zone 1 boss? No, I wanna go for the Zone 2 boss. I just think everyone's going to die because they're gonna get crit once and then go to Death's Door immediately. But, you know, let's learn our lesson. Let's learn our lesson. We could also go Wanderer. Wanderer would give us the health back at the cost of lower, you know, bleed piercing and lower crits, but let's roll it. Let's roll it. Near death. Thematically, we're all near death anyways, you know, it works. This said they wanted the Occultist. Gotta click on you. Boole says they wanted the Flagellant. Let's give the Occultist Bob. And you know what? I almost clicked on Random Party, which was not what I wanted. Paracelsus. Be Arc. There we go. Let's do it. I don't think this is gonna go very well. It does work with Anamnesis. Yeah, we could, you know, if we had a front line. Actually, 31 HP, 25, 22. Those are not that bad, but it's gonna go down once we put on the torch. We could put on a frontline occultist, but with the Hellion having decent HP, she can be in position too. And then we'll have ranged stuff for the occultist, you know. Put out the space squid, space spaghetti from Burning Stars and whatnot. Range skills do more damage. Abyssal, burning, chaotic, weird. Weakening Curse might be a little bit better here, just to make sure that the enemies can't do quite as much damage. I'm okay with that. Apparently Boudica is still Boudica. I guess I didn't give you a name. Did I not give you a name? Okay, well, I guess you can be... I'm just trying to see if there's anyone who hasn't gotten a name in a while. Calazo shorter handle, and I made your handle very short by just calling you Calazo. You can still equip skills. Are you sure you want to exit? Yes. You could actually walk into a fight with no skills. That's pretty hilarious. We're gonna take the bleeding skills, if it bleeds. Adrenaline Rush, Raucous Revelry. Bloodlust? No. It does give you a damage bonus. And Bleed Piercing. You know what, maybe we shouldn't have given you Berserker, because we have Bleed Piercing with Bloodlust, in theory. You know what, Barbaric Yop might be an interesting one as well for the weakness. And then we can give you like a wicked hack or something. I'm starting to believe that maybe the debuffs are going to be more important than I'm thinking. Galazzo, welcome. I'm doing all right. How are you doing today? I hope you're well this wonderful Friday. That's pretty good. And then
Malaise.
now we're not. I gotta remember. I forgot to get your abilities. Gotta remember that even though it looks like we're fine here, it's gonna get worse because as soon as we get the you have 1 HP. As soon as we get the flame, we're gonna be lower on health. I'm dumb. I changed 2 character abilities, but not the other 2.
Agony by accumulation.
Luckily, by default, you can handle it. I should have just hit him, I think. All right, everyone's dead. There's really nothing we can do, so we'll just go for the kill. Stack damage trinkets on the occultist, and he won't care about the weakness. I mean, if we can walk into fights with strength tokens, that will counteract the weakness. So we can get around it, but it will take effort. If we get a war horn, that could also allow us to walk into fights with strength on everybody. It will purge some of the weakness. Let's actually do this. So you need, I like sepsis, I like punish, I like deathless, acid rain, more. Plague Doctor does require, I think, indiscriminate science and battlefield medicine and noxious. Plague Grenade. Emboldening Vapors would do it. In theory, you could have her give strength to someone else, but her damage is going to be more important, I think. Her blight damage. If she has nothing else to do, though, I guess we could roll Emboldening Vapors. Blinding Gas might be appropriate as well, but yeah, it's fine. You could give Cause of Death a shot with all the DOT. So, Cause of Death is interesting. If we can apply combo to an enemy, the Flagellant can do all of that blight damage as raw damage, and then we could follow that up with the Plague Doctor doing the same thing and then removing the stacks. So we could do a lot of damage very quickly, in theory. It's a funny way of thinking about it and playing, but it could work. Occultist, if the target is burning, more healing. Ranged skills have debuffed piercing. Random ally has a chance of burning. That's still pretty decent. Minus 20% max flame. That's not that bad. But an occultist trinket early to possibly, benefit us from, or benefit us in the shroud, not the shroud, the sprawl. Apply more debuffs. I don't really like the self-burn. And if we're not using him to actually apply curses, this is not amazing, but if he applies a burn, he can now also heal immediately on his turn, plus healing given. So that's actually pretty decent. Let's just make sure to grab Pocket Light before we leave.
This land is truly barren.
Grab a few of those. And then we're gonna have the Corpse Light. Minus 20% health, lower heal, weaken on combat, plus speed. And that's the only benefit we get. Food items give speed, and we have more disease resist. Oh, let's also look at the pets. Blood? Blood might be really nice. Crits, plus 2 quantity of looted baubles is also pretty decent. Positive relationships and stress resist. Probably the blood. Blood worked really well in the past, and stacking it up for high value crits on a boss fight. The real question is who's going to actually get value from this? Who's going to be doing the raw damage that the blood would synergize with? Space Spaghetti might be a high value play there. Could also use it as a high heal. Could also use it on Sepsis. You know, if this can crit and then do even more damage, could be decent. We're not gonna get any value out of this for a long time, but blood is strong. This is gonna be the run where you don't roll any blood. I suppose it literally can happen. Increases stacking for poultices, plus produced, plus scouting, extra action, fetter damage. None of these are particularly interesting. I do like the whiskey barrels. Even just stockpiling them for later is pretty decent. And we've got money. So we're going to the Tangle. We're very well suited to fight the boss in the Tangle, the lair boss, so we will try to do that. I don't want the baubles. And we're not really going scouting gear. Let's get the tick. So we're gonna put on the light. We're gonna put on the tick.
In the equation of your fate.
Don't forget about those. I have 55 baubles. What are we gonna grab? I actually like the idea of stacking poultices, and then we can just hold these for the final fight in theory. Anything that lets you stack does give you the opportunity to, you know, just get more. Turn start crit. Quite good if it works. Let's go for the long-term benefits early.
This will serve well.
Mastery, hold on. Don't end expedition. We only get 2 candles from that. Combat items. Let's grab more light. Let's grab food for some of the weaker people. Party barrels for after the first inn, because we're not gonna get any relationships off of the first inn, so let's not worry about it at all. We'll save these for later. And now we can stack poultices up to 7! $19 and $17 HP. Good God. That is not a lot of health. We're gonna give them the food immediately. Stimulants. Strength and plus speed. Greek fire grenade. Shuffle enemy party and add days. I like this because it's pretty cheap. I like the stimulants too. We don't do a lot of physical damage, though. On a couple of units, yes. Take some grenades. We'll have you, yeah, you have bleed, so you can take that. You don't actually have like debuff resists or anything like that, but we can still give this to you. Light, let's give it to the flagellant for no reason. Plus healing received. I might want to use one of those on him just to have him have better heals for a region. You know, let's start strong, right? Mastery tokens.
Mastery.
I think one of my favorite starts is Plague Grenade, just so we can get more damage done to the back line. Although Indiscriminate Science is also very good. Remove negative tokens. For you, I really think more is gonna be something we're interested in. So let's get more, and let's get Indiscriminate Science. Even over the Plague Grenade, I think we'll be fine. All right. believe we're ready to go. There's not a lot of blight happening here. We don't need this. There's a lot of bleed happening, and we have an occultist. Let's grab the bandages and toss them on the, not the Hellion. Toss them on the flagellant. There you go. I don't want to fight one of those big tank enemies and then have him constantly riposte me and then inflict me with bleed. Let's have some way of removing that. All right, first time doing the second Infernal Flame. It's probably gonna go poorly because none of my units have HP, but I did that to myself. Very
resignation.
Very explicitly, let's be honest. I do see a hero shrine. I do see a lair immediately after. I love it. We're gonna go left path. I want the combat. I want the early combat, hopefully into lots of mastery tokens. Oh, we made it. More bandages too. Yeah. More bandages. I mean, if we're gonna have bandages, if we're gonna have a cultist, you might as well have bandages to go along with it, right? Yeah, this is fine. Light's a little low. I guess the light started 20% lower, didn't it? True believers read not, they know verse by heart. Books squander no opportunity to learn. Let's go with the positive quirk. Spotter. I have no idea. Hazardous route scouting. I don't know if that actually applies retroactively. I don't believe it does.
Is exhausted. Trust your
We'll take it. I mean, that'll be very useful for future locations, even if it isn't retroactive, which it didn't look like it was. You know, the game wasn't playing sound effects like ding, 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 scouting, scouting, scouting. All right. First combat of the doomed squad. They're not actually doomed, hopefully. So we are weak early, but I think we still want to roll that early abyssal. We're still taunted. And it looks like we're gonna still get a kill early. Nice crit. So that wasn't too bad. Yeah, I guess if we focus down, you know, a specific unit or units, we can probably kill before enemies have an opportunity to go. That breacher needs locking in. If we get the opportunity to, we definitely will, because that is fantastic. There's a +1 speed. Disease resist is nice too. I don't know if it's worth the price that we paid, but this fight at least does not look like it's going to be too difficult. We could yop. No reason to. We've got the taunt up. Bleed him. We should upgrade her bleed ability, of course, at some point. Let's do a chaotic offering. We're gonna kill this guy pretty quickly, I think. You are weak again, unfortunately. We inflicted a lot of blight there. Took 3 damage. Not a big issue. Right, this only does 50% of the damage unless I upgrade sepsis. So we're not gonna rely on that at all. Really? Really? We don't have any more taunts up. I guess it is round 3, that does make sense. But he's gonna be weak because he is on death's door. We're inflicting a lot of DOT, that is nice. trying to think if there's any reason to, like, not kill him. I think we should just kill him.
All problems
First
have
fight?
their solutions. Even
Decent.
the big ones.
Even the big ones. But we should plan on, if we're not getting attacked frequently, we should plan on reapplying the taunt after the second turn. Because we don't want it to run out like it did. The flagellant, you know, you have to remember, he doesn't actually have that much HP right now. I have had a, you know, a 90 HP flagellant, but he doesn't have that much HP. He is a good tank because he heals constantly, but that requires him to have a lot of HP. I mean, we're not gonna leave, so I guess we'll ruin our relationships. No whiskey to, no, we have whiskey, we bought it. We can maybe get some positive relationship fixing later. Ah, and you can resist the debuff of weakness, so debuff resistance will be nice to have as well. We're learning all sorts of new things. Wouldn't be a bad idea to Barbaric Yop. An upgraded Yop would apply 2 resistance tokens, which would be nice. But obviously that's not the case here. Oh, you get unchecked power every turn, don't you? So you don't really need Chaotic Offering in theory. It's interesting to think about. It does mean that he's going to slowly, you know, continuously bleed himself over a long combat, but it's okay. A little bit of bleed. Really, you can't hit the front line with that? Man, that's a lot of her HP just gone in one shot.
Awash in turmoil.
That is rough. Damage. I mean, I'd like to kill him before he can act again, but we'll probably still just do another Abyssal anyways. Get a couple of kills.
Development.
Flagellant will go. He's still taunted for a turn. Could remove his bleed. We have so many bandages, like why not? And you can hit the back line, so we gotta kill you.
Dissection.
I don't know when to heal.
Unavoidable end.
You know, we healed 25% off of 17. You know, it's not gonna heal. It's not gonna heal 25% of 17. It's going to heal 25% of 28, I think. I think that's how it works. So we could actually get decent heals, I believe. But don't quote me on that, because that's something that I actually don't fully understand myself. That's a nasty bleed. That's another bandage, though.
All the same.
You're already dead. Let's weaken... it's Burning Stars. Let's taunt. Basically, my strategy for using the flagellant is if he's ever not doing anything, have him taunt. He should always be taunting. ABT.
Measured and steady.
The taunt is how he operates. All right, at least that means that we're getting the heal out of it. So let me see. 50, 40, heals 15, but then has 20% healing from skill bonus. I'm like, is there a way that I can analyze how this will work on you? I don't know, there might not be. Because he healed for... Oh, he doesn't heal if you end the combat not in his turn. I didn't know that. Never mind.
Let it die.
I thought he would still get the heal, but I guess it has to be his turn. Unworthy witnesses to my becoming. Okay, more combat, no road hazards. Light running a little low. We used bandages. Let's equip light. We still have bandages. This is gonna be a hard run, but I think that's gonna be fun overall, up to the point where I get crit, bled, and then killed immediately. That's gonna be frustrating. Everyone wants this combat. You're becoming what, an undead corpse that flipped death off? We killed death? As ironic as that sounds. Not ideal turn order, but we'll make it work. You know what? I could shuffle. They're stunned, so that's good. But the shuffle, it moved 1 to 3 and 2 to 4. So it's the same thing, the same party. We didn't change anything. All right. Let's chaotic offering, I think, on this one. It only cost him 4 HP. What's 15% of 25? It's like almost 1/7. That's like 4, 3. Good crit. I think I want the Arbalist to go first. So much so that I'll use the Flagellant to make it happen. Let's also use some light. Make sure that he goes. Self 10% damage. It did only cost him 4, not 5. So maybe the heals do work off of current HP and not lower HP from like paths. I don't know. Guess I never quite understood that myself. You can get hit from multiple people, you can't. Six to 12. I do like that this goes around and removes that block token though. A little low on the damage, but that's okay. She could get the kill. Might have to have the Plague Doctor help. Okay. At least we got one of them out.
A deliberate and methodical appliance of harm.
You're gonna more? Could you get the kill? This would get the kill, I think. It would have to blight, so it's like a 30% chance of getting the kill. Ah, that's okay. Just hate that piercing bolt because it is a bleed. Maybe only on crit. No, serrated bolt is the bleed. Maybe we should have chucked out a heal. All right, weaken you. You're not dead, so let's do a heal. The fights are going fine so far, but we've yet to hit that, like, you know, 20 damage crit that has killed someone. I know I keep talking about that, but like that's a big part of these runs. Are you gonna get hit by a crit that just one-shot someone? Technically, this is a heal. Heal for 2, and then you are already dead. There's no reason to stall though. Plague Doctor can't really do anything, so I guess I'll just crit you for 30.
Take heart and do not relent.
That's good damage, but we were getting that damage last run off of the Grave Robber and the
Until the next test is put before you.
off of the Grave Robber and the Highwayman. So don't you bleed yourself? I thought the Hellion had a path that bled herself every turn. Did they change Berserker? Maybe it was a different path. It's probably a different path. We will put bleed resist on her, I think. She's in the front, and we know certain enemies bleed and hit front lines. That's very good for her. I would very much like to go and fight the Leviathan and get the sweater. I think that's a very good one to have. We do not need Shimmering Hope right now, so we have lots of bandages. Sounds good to me. Where are we going? Oasis Hoarder. I do not have enough money to buy a good trinket at the Hoarder, so we'll skip that. We'll just go Oasis. Try to get some of the pocket consumables, which would be really nice. And then we'll hit up a Hero Shrine immediately afterwards. Ravager Path. What's the other deal with Ravager Path? What are the benefits and the negatives? Because I apparently didn't remember. I do remember that it's self-bleed. Is it more health or is it less health?
When the cult came, no orders were shouted.
I don't remember.
No swords were drawn.
It's plus damage on first position. Ah, right. Yeah, that's a good one. That is actually a pretty good one.
That follows it.
Not what we want because we have the flagellant, but yeah. Now I get it. Now I get it. Now I understand. Let us equip these. Pretty much everyone has a heal now. We're gonna lose another armor, but we'll be fine. Plus health as well. Yeah, if you do have a frontline Hellion, that's pretty good. But my favorite Hellion path for tanking is Carcass. Carcass is fantastic. It's free block tokens every turn, sometimes 3 block tokens every turn. So she's very tanky.
We must understand the past if we are ever to be free of it.
Okay, Plague Doctor or Flagellant? I'm gonna go Plague Doctor.
Chapter 5. Do no harm. Disposal of the body was a procedural affair. A carboy of acid would dissolve the thing and no evidence would remain. In the weeks that followed, however, she found herself unable to focus, sitting motionless at her desk, paralyzed by the ceaseless wailing that reverberated in her mind.
God damn it. Okay, I'm gonna have to like break the veil a little bit here. Did anyone hear like a ding a little while ago? How long ago was there a ding? Freaking ran out of hard drive space. People on YouTube are gonna be upset. We didn't get to hear the dialogue that happened. What? All right, I ran out of hard drive space. I don't know how long ago that happened, but because the Twitch VOD is going on, I can always pull that down to get the missing footage. Hopefully it's not, I didn't miss too much though. We picked up Disorienting Blast, Weakness, and Shuffle. Dude, Shuffle's really nice to have. And then Magnesium Rain. Target burn, clear corpse, hits every enemy target. This is one that I've heard a lot of people talk about, Magnesium Rain. Burns the entire enemy party, removes corpses. That's actually pretty good. Cooldown 1, burn of 3, and then Disorienting Blast applies daze and a stun when comboed. So if enemies are weak to stun, you can just stun, and there's no cooldown. It's not bad. I guess you would roll Magnesium Rain if you want backline DOT, but you don't want to roll an Alchemist. You could roll like Incision, still have access to Magnesium Rain, and be able to do Burn instead of Blight so you're not penalized for it. So I do see some use cases there. Good. Magnesium Rain is great for those apply on X trinkets. Or even Firefly from the Runaway. You could apply more burn to the Plague Doctor and then burn them all.
Calculated your odds carefully.
Oh, I should have equipped the freaking flame. Maybe should give me an opportunity to swap, but that's on me for not being fast enough, really. I would like to try to go for a KO early. So we're going for damage. Lovely crit. We should be able to kill them both on this turn. We're very fast. Or at least much faster than the enemies, even though our speed is not particularly high. Well, their speed is particularly low, to be honest. Go ahead and guard him. No! Really wanted him to do protect the child. That would have been funny. All right. Weakening Curse, Chaotic Offering. We don't need to make him weak on this turn because we still have the big block token. We just need to make sure that we have taunts going, and we will. We'll just do a more on this turn. If you equip Curing Kappa, you have a chance to DOT the whole party for 5 damage for 3 turns. 3 Blight chance on hit. So you would have a chance of applying Blight and the burn from Magnesium Rain. Yeah, I mean, I see it. I see the value of Magnesium Rain, and on top of that, it's a corpse clear. Good for the fetter. It says, gotta burn them all. Must burn. Annoying crit. We don't have great stress relief, mostly it's the Hellion. Definitely low-rolled that damage. The bleed is actually a heal, thanks to pain, so we're not going to remove it. $10 damage from sepsis. It's not enough to get him down to death's door, so there's no reason to actually do that. We'll just do a punish. That is enough to get him to death's door. Actually. Might kill him. He's probably got pretty low death's door resist. Him and the ghoul are actually not that bad. All right. Look, we're not going to break the bank off of normal fights like that, but it's something. 60. Actually, I don't think we need Glimmer of Hope for the boss. I very much like the idea of actually making sure we still have these bandages and mineral-rich waters equipped. Crow's Feet we can use if we need another turn to hit the back line, and otherwise we have Plague Grenade, Acid Rain, Abyssal Artillery. We have a lot of options there. Yeah, Thunderclap Grenade as well, but let's keep the anti-bleed. This boss does bleed, and that bleed can kill, which is highly annoying. But he's usually pretty easy to take out, so I want to do him early. Or rather, if we're gonna do one early, this is the one to do early. You're annoying, but you are a great anti-taunt unit.
A general and his loyal lumbering guard.
His loyal lumbering guard. Early chaotic or early weakening curse? Let's do chaotic since we have the taunts. It gave you a taunt. You're gonna get hit by 1 foot soldier. As annoying as that is, that's not terrible. We're not gonna need Raucous Revelry right now. Could weaken both the front line. I think I'd rather still just do damage.
A slow dissection. An unavoidable end.
And here we'll just punish. At least we can get one of you down to death's door. Well, no, it didn't land, unfortunately. A fierce blow! Yeah, just shambling thrust for 1.
Measure out your violence and apply.
Now we might want to do a raucous. Six to 12. 6 to 12. I mean, a plague grenade already kills you, so why don't we just do a... I mean, we're weak, but it does get around a block token and remove a block token, which is nice.
Bravo!
And we don't have any taunts up right now. That's unfortunate, but you're not going to be able to bleed the Hellion, so I really don't mind this at all. She took one hit. Now we'll put out a taunt. We knew that that was going to happen at some point. Although, if we waited like 2 more turns, we could have gotten around the hit. It's a big hit. I can't waste this on you. Apply some combo. If I let you burn for 1 more damage, I can heal you. So let's do that. Taunts are still active, which means you're gonna hit, you're gonna die. Perfect. We don't need to weaken you because we have a taunt active. Although he can hit both front positions with Flashing Blade. But I think this is his buffed ability when he has preparing powerful ability tokens. So I don't think we have to care about Flashing Blade. The taunt's good enough.
Malaise, measured and steady.
Deathless? You're already gonna heal quite a bit, but getting the getting a little heal on the occultist is nice. Yeah, it is current HP too, because it's only healing for 6, but I'll do that. It's a solid heal ability. I guess here will weaken. No reason to do that. No reason to do that. Good crit. Sepsis, 10 damage. This I see, although it is going to make him stronger. So, you know, it's a bit of a stall tactic, but not really. He's just doing his job. His job is to tank, so just let him tank. I did put him down to death's door, but that's not going to matter. As long as we don't accidentally kill this guy before we get the heal anyways.
A small foundation of trust.
So we'll toss out some heals. Good relationship pip there. Just don't do anything. Don't touch anything. We're on pain, so this'll work. Just immediate death blow, I love it. Yeah, and he does get the heal on his turn. Advance! We need to use Deathless in these encounters to make sure that we're healthy for the following fights. This is annoying. The taunt's gonna screw it up. Slay the, and this is where the order comes in, but he's not gonna be able to, does it bleed? Yeah, he's not gonna be able to bleed the Hellion, and we're still taunting, and it's gonna waste a taunt, but that's not bad. Let's get high damage. Another taunt, but that's probably gonna be the drummer boy. Well, I don't know, would it? Might. Gotta work him down first anyways.
Well done.
5. Gotta hit him one more time. Plus speed.
This is no time to falter.
Cannot gain dodge for 2 rounds. That should be the only hit on the occultist, I think. We already have enough taunts out, so acid rain. Drummer boy's dead. Yeah, that's like not a bad attack at all. It's a lot of bleed, but we resist it, so. I could even make him weak if I wanted to. I could barbaric yop him if I wanted to. Why not? Because the occultist is gonna get the kill here anyways. It's like, shut up and die already. Next turn we can more. Well, let's do it here. Thinking about just getting more taunt tokens next turn that last longer, but we don't need to worry about that. Good. It would be cool if that third unchecked power would also give it like a higher crit chance or something. That'd be interesting. Raucous Revelry, unnecessary. Let's use that combo. The bleed is not that much damage, unfortunately. We'll keep this bleed active for now. One away from Deathless, damn it. Guess we'll hit you. I don't mind that you've bled him. He can sustain the bleed. Getting a lot of those unchecked powers, which is nice. And why does he have such good death blow resist piercing? That's absurd. Spore Grenade. Reverberating Redoubt is one of the best trinkets we could possibly ask for. We're definitely gonna go for that one. Nightmare's End is pretty good as well. I've come around on this one. And we've talked about it. We know that we're very good against this boss.
Locked in a nightmare slumber, he is tortured by failures both real and imagined.
Turn 1. Chaotic Offering. Acid Rain. I'm dumb. Don't taproot on turn 1. That's a big mistake on my part.
Well done.
For some reason, I thought on turn 1 he would put out the
enemy weakens and wanes.
the roots, but no, that he just creates the roots as his first action. Bit of a mistake on my part. Now we can hit. But we probably don't want to hit with all of them on this turn because... In fact, we probably want to hit with none of them on this turn because we want to stack them up on characters and then remove them at the same time, and I don't want him to do his big attack on this turn. So what we'll do is we'll just we'll keep smacking on this turn. This is all about action economy against the roots. You know what? We'll use this in the future, but that is good stress relief. Purge your weakness, it had to happen.
A slow
Keep the blight coming. And damage sepsis, not good enough. Let's more. Make sure that he attacks specifically the flagellant on his turn. Stress is getting a little high. Now we'll start purging the stress. And now we've got a bonus action economy here with this Tangled Growth. If we remove that, which happened now, then we can do the same thing next turn, just kind of stall a little bit. We don't want him to do his big attack this turn. We want him to do it next turn. So we're not going to do anything else to hit the root. It's going to, if it bleeds. We're on pace to be fine on this fight. Although I am a little bit worried about the whole, you know, he's going to hit these guys for DOT, for lots of DOT damage with the stirring soil. Not much we can do about that though. Now we'll play Grenade.
Malaise, measured and steady.
And we will also Acid Rain. Because unfortunately he didn't Soil Stir on the taunt. I thought he would do that, but... Oh no, he did it last turn, so what do I know? You're gonna get hit by stirring soil. Let's give you the stress relief.
Generosity, but a welcome one nonetheless.
I know we're burning. We can heal next turn. This is too good to pass up. Good combo, solid damage. We can more. Are we gonna more? We don't need to more on this turn. We should probably hit. I mean, this could be a good sepsis, because he's comboed. It won't remove the blight. We'll just have a decent damage turn, hopefully. Like 15. Pretty good. Let's do the crow's feet. You know what? Let's yop. Let's try to put out a weaken. He resisted the debuff, which meant that was basically a wasted turn. I really just didn't want him. I don't want him hitting and bleeding the Plague Doctor to death. Like, that's just pretty much it. Also, it's not worth sepsising. I'd rather just hit him and blight him for more. So, I guess we'll do that. Plague Doctor can hit the Taproot. And I mean, this is where it gets really dangerous because he could just kill a unit on this turn with really no input. He didn't, but only barely. If he crit, it would have been a much different scenario. But we're fine. We are fine. We're finer than fine. You want this? You can have it. Could Abyssal? Could weaken. We don't need a weaken. He doesn't have big damage hits. We'll put up a taunt on this turn. So an Abyssal does seem pretty good here. Just to buy us. I mean, a heal is also pretty good, but Abyssal to buy us a little bit of time from the Taproot. He's gonna die before the Taproot goes 3 more times. That's like, it's hard to realize that is actually, it matters. The Taproot will die before it acts 3 more times, and then we'll be fine. We're not gonna have the nightmare turn of stirring soil again. We need to make sure that he doesn't suck up the Occultist. Occultist is very quick, so we need him not to have 2 levels of growth. You really want to kill these 2 units, huh? I'm not gonna let you. 16 damage is pretty good, but you know, we need to taunt. I hate to do it, but we need to taunt. Stress relief seems pretty good here. Adrenaline Rush could have removed Winded, but I also want less stress.
What is it then that gazes back so intently from the abyss?
That would be the General. Plague Doctor can probably go on his turn. 9. See, at this point, I'd rather just hit. Don't hit the Taproot, though. Not on this turn. Heavens, no. Just keep hitting the General. I know you're a little hurt right now. Just keep hitting the General. We want to try to hit a Death's Door trigger. We might get there, but I think we're too... Oh, you know what? We will get there because of the combo and the damage bonus. Hit that Death's Door check, my friend. I didn't realize we were out of taunt tokens. I think the Taproot took the other taunt token and I was not paying attention to that, so that was certainly a mistake.
This road cannot
If I don't get the
be
kill
walked
off of the
alone.
plague grenade, he could die if he gets hit by the tangled growth, so I wanted to make sure that he wouldn't. The general is going, so now I think we actually do need to target him.
The fiend's strength dwindles.
Sweet! I think we played that fine.
We are the flame.
A little high on stress, but we have things to reduce stress, and we have a lot of good relics, including that redoubt, which is incredible. Lower the speed on the flagellant, and then we're gonna have extra turns.
The loathing abates.
The loathing is really heavy. Unfortunately, when we eat food at the inn, we gain speed, so I need something that actually lowers his speed. I'm gonna have to find something that does that. He's also very stressed out right now, but we made it. Gain on miss if first in turn order, random ally on turn start. Apply to attacker when hit. I mean, we definitely want this, we definitely want this. Let's give you the poison grenade. Torchlight is 62, that's high enough. Minus healing received plus 5% crit. I don't really want that. Cool. Combat. I like the idea of just getting in one little combat just to help purge some of the stress. Oh no, he's at maximum stress, so he's gonna have an immediate toxic meltdown, which is very unfortunate. I mean, there's just no way of stopping that at this point. I have whiskey barrels, so in theory we can recover the relationships. It does suck not having a response, though. That's okay. Hey, at least you're gonna toxicify some dogs. And it's -2, right? Relationships are actually still fine. At least it's not -3. So they're all already starting to take the riposte damage. Guard and a riposte. Hate that. Let's do a chaotic offering. You're stealthed. I like when the random side effect is positive, or at least apparently positive. So I'm just gonna have you taunt for a while. That's your job, pretty much, in this endeavor. Keep this for the cultists. Go for the, for Yop. Purge the dodge and apply to one weakness, which is okay. Oh right, you're not below 50% health. You are. To remove your weakness, I actually really like Indiscriminate Science here, because your attack is actually powerful.
Incremental, but deadly all the same.
Hold on. Eyeshadow says, well, Death Store mechanics and leveling enemies with heroes instead of previous part in series where enemies just punish single hero into Death Store with auto crits is way better. At least I do think so. I'm not sure I follow. I like your thinking, I think, but I'm not sure I follow. You're dodged, but you're dead in 2 turns anyways. You lost me at well. You lost me at hello. You know, if this lands, it's a kill. All right. I accept that. Good heal, Flagellant. 40 health. He starts with enough health that even losing that 20% from the torch,
An unavoidable end.
he's fine. He's good. I like hitting for 1 due to our weakness. That's positive. Why do I think that was the heal? It's definitely not the heal. I don't have a front-ranged attack with the occultist when he doesn't have the burning stars, but that's not... It's not a huge problem. And they're both dead.
Smallest variable.
Previous part of a Darkest Dungeon had enemies ignore taunts marks, had guaranteed crit mechanics for enemies, and punished mechanics for good play. Previous part of Darkest Dungeon. What do you mean part? I guess, are you talking about something with Darkest Dungeon 1 or early access Darkest Dungeon 2 when the mechanics were different? I guess there wasn't a taunt in Darkest Dungeon 1, so you're probably talking about early access. Was there a taunt in Darkest Dungeon 1? I don't think there was a taunt in Darkest Dungeon 1, was there? Was there? Maybe I'm just like, have no memories. Maybe I woke up and I was a completely new person, different from how I was in the past, and you all are just kind of like, what happened to Abe? Is he okay? What the heck? Is Mark? Well, Mark wasn't really a taunt. Mark is more like combo. Enemies and you could absolutely ignore it. I can't remember any taunt in one, just guard. There was guard, like how you would work the man-at-arms is guard into the retribution. But yeah, Mark, not all enemies would fall for the Mark. Some were highly incentivized, like Rend the Marked and the spiders. But I don't think it's a guarantee that they have to go for the Mark unit. I think it's just like highly probable. Admittedly, I could be wrong. Maybe in Darkest Dungeon 1, if you were taunted, you had to be, or if you were marked, you had to be attacked. I don't know. Really don't want to move the altar because I really like this setup. We have a bleed resist Hellion and a man who wants to get hit. But admittedly, the Thunderclap to shuffle is pretty funny. Just because if it shuffles well, I mean, I like the stun, so I'm happy. But if it shuffled well, maybe we could have easier hits on the altar. I think I'm gonna go Chaotic Offering. I think we resisted the burn. So we'll do an Acid Rain. This unit is gonna have to spend 1 or 2 turns moving forward with the rush, which is a good ability for us to have. Let's put out some more bleed as well.
That another may finish the work.
And put out some more bleed. Good crit too. So this unit has to take 3 damage. Rush Judgment is what it's called. If we move before the altar, we might be able to kill it before it has 1 action. Actually, you know what? We totally can. Got a Plague Grenade. Well, no, it's gonna get 1 action, but then it's not gonna have an action next turn. Why did I think we would be able to kill it before it got 1 action? That's stupid. Abyssal kills it, but how can I not do Burning Stars? You're a little weak. I wouldn't mind a Yop. It only hit 1 of them, unfortunately. I was kind of hoping that would buy me a little bit more time. I think he'll be fine. What's funny is he hasn't activated the altar of resentment yet. That's normally what he does on his first turn, but we've stalled him. So like, if we kill him, the enemies are not gonna get whatever that buff is. I think it's stealth, was it? Or was that denial? I don't remember. I hate the double crits, especially, you know, when I had more pain up. It's gonna be a not useless, but mostly useless turn. Oh, we can do a Deathless. That is That's hot. Denial was stealth. What's resentment then? I know. Obsession is taunt. Denial is stealth. One of them is extra actions. I can't remember what they all are. Chance to gain crit tokens when hit. Good thing then, we killed that altar early, I suppose. I don't have a good way of really removing the winded tokens from her. That's okay. Wow. Battlefield medicine, 3 HP. Good job, everybody. Damage occultist with burning stars is fun. He's doing a good job so far. I mean, you're gonna hit him anyways. I might as well attack. We're about to hit an inn. Oh no, you crit me for 5. The stress is kind of annoying though, because I can't raucous. But if I can get you down to death's door, then our speed bonus should mean that I could raucous on the next turn, but that's not gonna happen. Actually, can I? I don't know if I can raucous revelry when it is, or when I don't have stress. Deathless is still on cooldown. Just don't touch anything. Plague Doctor can get the kill if we need to. So let's see, can I raucous? I can. The only thing it does is debuff me and heal 1 stress, but I'll take it.
Well done.
You need damage trinkets though. I mean, we need a lot of trinkets, but we killed the boss that gave us cheaper trinkets. So we can now go to a hoarder later, keep our baubles, and get every good trinket they have available. And I believe that's really good. I believe if we go to the Shroud, aka the docks, we can get things like Spaceball and Nautical Compass, which are pretty good trinkets. I really like those ones.
At last, respite within reach.
Oof, that's solid. Great mumbling. Blasphemous idol. So we also want speed debuffs for the flagellant. He's too fast. We need to slow him down so he gets the extra action chance from the reverberating redoubt.
The fire is lit. The table is set.
Fortune Crown. Heal, -1 stress, and...
Guests.
Ah, good. Good. Coward, pyrophobic. If burning, remove a positive token. Bum leg, book burner. Not fantastic. We did get the cultist trinket though. Better heals if someone's burning, and debuff piercing. It will possibly cause allies to burn though, which is not fantastic. And everyone's HP is so low. That's a lot of bad stuff. Yeah,
Conventional
it
fare,
is.
but fairly priced.
Remove negative quirk, 67% chance. Probably. All right, I'm back. Before we do anything else, let's make sure we have cheaper trinkets and more inventory.
Remembering.
Now, we have 100 baubles. We can buy so much. Plus 20% damage trinket. I do like it. It's a lot of party barrels, which I like as well. Is there a songbook? There is. It's a good combination. I will buy some songbooks. It's expensive. I kind of want the Creature Den and Oasis Scouting. We can afford it. We can afford so much. Let's start with the songbooks. +4 relationship on them, which is nice. I like that you can crit on these. Mellophobic. It's fine. We got party barrels. +6, +3, -2, -2. All right. What are the results? Neutral, Max. Friendly. Friendly. Neutral. Friendly. Max. Very friendly. Friendly. That's why you want to grab a whole bunch of those and use them whenever possible. We've got good trinkets, but you're too fast. And if I feed you food, you're gonna be even faster. I need something that slows down the flagellant. If there's 2 pipeweed, we can buy both of these and then feed him food. But we actually picked up no food over the course of the location. We're gonna have to buy food. And we don't have to give him food if he has, 40 HP and then ways of healing himself. Could also buy more whiskey barrels, of course. So 1 pipeweed might be enough to actually get him down to reverberating redoubt actually, having a benefit. But we could also just give him more health. Problem with that, though, is that I would much rather put that on someone else who also has low health, like the Hellion. The occultist might want the damage trinket. Debuff resist, but lower stun resist. Burn resist. Didn't I pick up a trinket that could burn? Random ally on turn start burn. I mean, I want him to have the burn resist, actually. I hope that this stops him from burning. I don't know if it does, but I hope it does. Unless we want to give him the healing given and the debuff piercing. It's a tough call because the damage is really solid. I mean, we could give the damage to the Hellion, but I like her in the front with the bleed resist, so. I could give the flagellant the bleed resist, but if he bleeds, it's usually not that bad because it also allows him to get more value out of the more. Experimental Remedy, signature in item. It's a chance of removing negative quirks, removing diseases, and healing to full. It's pretty good. It seems like something we should hold on to because we don't have any diseases, and we have negative quirks, but none of them are like too problematic, I think. Yeah, they're not too problematic. What else do we have at the Provisioner? Turn start dodge, gain on miss blind. Creature den scouting. Yeah, very much like that.
Good.
Repair. What's the combat items look like? How many bandages do we have? Quite a few. We should spend money buying items here, I think. I mean, I know I'm gonna need 1 pipeweed. I can buff your relationship with the Hellion. Oh! What did I just give you? Healing receipt. You know what? That's actually fine. That's fine. I gave you the wrong thing, but you've got better healing now. And now your speed is 2, so this actually works. Random ally on turn start, block token, gain on miss, combo. The real question is, do I want to give the occultist the screaming skull? Wait, are there region-specific trinkets? Asks Segus Jr. I believe there are. I believe that there are trinkets that you can only get in specific regions. So like the nautical compass, I think you have to go to the shroud for that one.
Rot. Is there no sanctuary
Flagellant.
from this madness?
Round end, remove a negative token, remove a combo. Endure, steal negative token, steal combo. That's actually really good, especially for the exemplar fight, but you gotta go sluice. I mean, that's why we're here after all.
Out of far worse than rats.
I'm going to buy 2 food. Make sure you 2 don't die. If target is burning, you heal them more. I don't think I want this. I think I just want the damage bonus. He could do some serious damage. Let's look at the masteries too. More damage from if it bleeds, more crit chance, and then pretty good increase in the bleed. We're using it constantly. Barbaric Yop for 2 weakness is also pretty decent. You should get something. I mean, Weird Reconstruction is always going to be nice when we need the heal. And Plague Doctor. I mean, we could hold Magnesium Rain, but we've got Blight Piercing, so Plague Grenade is still totally fine in this location. Might want Disorienting Blast. I mean, how often do we have those freaking pigs that we got to deal with? Disorienting Blast could really help that out. But you need them to be shuffled to the front so that they're easier to hit. Deathless is pretty good. I think I like the Yop. Still have a lot of money, and I think we should spend it. We already used all of our stress relief items that we picked up earlier. We could start stacking poultices as well. The boss doesn't bleed, like the confession boss, so I don't think we need to stack those. Remove negative quirk, 67% chance. I don't actually think there's much to remove. None of our negative quirks are that bad. I think I'm gonna hold on to Pipeweed so we can keep the Flagellant slow.
A bit of comfort on the road to damnation.
I actually like smoke bombs. And I like them. I like them on the occultist because he's fast. And if we find you know who, hopefully we can just blind him and then not have to worry about his attacks so much. More alcohol. Our relationships are actually pretty decent right now. I don't think we need to buy alcohol. I mean, we could. You know, we can, in theory, bump up the relationships slightly from the Plague Doctor. I'd like to save some money, though, for the future. We could just buy, like, the quick whiskey barrels, or whiskey flasks, I guess. For 16, we'll go down to 10. I guess if we're not spending the money, we'll do that. And then we want you, and then you. So that bumps them up to the next level each. He can get crit heal, so you're fine. We have Weakening Curse. Burning Stars. I guess we're not going to be using Vulnerability X, which I like, but I feel like Weakening Curse is just a little bit better because it helps us to stay alive. And it would have been a good upgrade target now that I think about it. To weakness, but we'll live. Disease resist until next inn. What happens when I give people disease resist? When I give them food. So I can give you disease resist. Hold on, what am I looking at here? There it is. Don't get diseased. I shall not waste something pathetic. Your stun resist is amazing. You don't need any more. Okay, Sluice. Let's do it. I hope we'll be fine.